Shalvis here. Follow me at Ryson Shalvis on YouTube, because he's never going to post this, but he'll see this eventually.
Alright guys, for this video I am down at Lake Powell chasing stripers. Down here with a big group of guys. We got 8 divers, and as you can see we have run into some absolutely phenomenal conditions. Starting off, Greg here, looking a little lost and confused, trying to get the anchor set. So while there are fish swimming around under the boat, we got to get this anchor set so everybody can get in the water. So I'm just pulling the anchor out over this ledge, and as you can see right there, I've got fish swimming by.
You're probably gonna need to let, a lot of line out.
Trying to catch my breath here after pulling the boat, but I see a school in the distance below me, so do my best to catch my breath and make a dive. I'm only part way down when a big school of fish comes into view, so I level off, stop kicking, and just let myself drift and let the fish come to me.
Guys.
Alright, next dive here. Got still a few fish down below me. Heart's still pumping, but this time I do make it all the way to the bottom. Be able to sit and relax a little bit. School comes back into view here, checking me out a little bit, but the other guys have already shot 2 or 3 fish out of the school, as well as the one I just got. So they are done with us and they just sink back out. From there I move over to the other side of the little kind of peninsula we're on and run into this massive school that is coming up right underneath me. These guys are only 15 or 20 feet deep right here, so I do my best to calm down, catch my breath, get that heart rate down, and make a relaxed dive. Again, I'm just getting down here on their level, leveling off and letting myself drift into the school. I'm kind of looking for a little bit bigger fish here, trying to wait them out, let them get a little comfortable, and they spook. New guy right here behind me just shot at a fish. I take a Hail Mary here out of desperation. It's probably a bad idea because I just spook him further. Try not to be too hard on him. He's still new and learning, but we did have a talk about diving in close proximity to other guys while they're down and shooting, especially while one of them's in a school of fish. And of course I showed everybody the video that night and we all made fun of him. Here on the next dive I've moved back over to the other side with Greg, trying to get him a fish. He's finally in the water. He's at about 35 feet here, which just shows the amazing visibility that we had. Not normal at all. Greg does see the fish down at about 50 feet, but the guys on this side have already taken another 2 or 3 from the school, and they're still pretty spooked out and not willing to give him a chance here.
And I bet you're just popping long shots at it, because these are bigger than probably what you've seen before too.
Oh, way bigger.
Yeah. The freaking, they're nice, dude. They're freaking nice.
When I saw the school, I was thinking they're like yay big.
Yeah, the normal size.
And I was like, oh shoot, that's way bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
As you can see there, I was having a little talk with Ryson while we took a break. He's experienced a little blue water effect where he's never been in water this clear and has taken shots at fish that are way out of range. when you learn in really bad visibility, like is the norm here for us in Utah, and then move to something up to 20, 30, 40 foot of visibility, it takes some adjusting to learn how to judge distance. Got a little carp there coming in to check out the flasher. Make my dive, move out to the edge. It's kind of my preferred method, is to hunt these drop-offs. Tend to funnel those stripers up from deeper water. And this is 90% of striper hunting right here, staring off into the abyss. Not really seeing much. And then right here out of nowhere they come in mid-water. My goal right now is to get Ryson a striper so I don't take a shot on these guys. Instead, do my best to slowly back away, head back to the surface without spooking them.
They're back.
Take a dive?
Huh?
Should I just take a dive?
Go ahead, or you can wait for that to sink if you want.
Ryson makes his drop. Just a few seconds right here, he spots the fish. He's got plenty of time, but again, he misjudges the distance. Takes a really long shot. You can see his spear barely reaches where the fish were there. And this poor guy is devastated. Try to get him to grab my flasher, but message does not get across.
Way too far. I was telling you to grab my flasher. I was telling you to grab my flasher, but they were too far. Like, you barely even reached them. So yeah, just wait, and they'll come in. Maybe not now, but.
Yeah.
Make a drop here to retrieve my flasher. Move out to the edge, have a look, and the fish are still here. A little further out, see they're moving a little quicker, a little more erratic, they're kind of spooked. Give them a second, see if they'll warm up. Think about it on this guy. Don't love the shot, so I don't take it. And they kind of drift off there. Need a little time to cool down. We're honestly pretty lucky to be getting this much out of the schools. Usually it's one or two fish and they're gone.
They're still here. They're pretty spooked though.
Make a drop here on a couple of shad, but these guys are usually pretty difficult if you don't get it just right. You see they spook off pretty quick. But had a good breathe up, so grab my flasher, have a look around while I'm down here. And big old school comes barreling in. And what happened there was my knees actually hit the ground and spooked the school off. But as you saw, just needed to wait a few seconds. Another group came through and offered me up a great shot. Ryson eager to go here.
Come on, David.
To drop, try to get David out here, get him in on the action. And then it is amateur hour on the camera. I shut it off just in time to miss Ryson's shot. He does connect with the fish, but it tears off almost immediately. And you can see it on his face.
You're getting closer, dude. You're still a little far. Did you see what happened with me? I had him like spear tip and my knees hit and spooked the whole school. And so then I had to wait for the next one. They're here. Yeah, he just tore one off.
Huh?
He just tore one off.
That's the second one I tore off.
Can't really see it on camera, but I spot the school down below us again here. Signaling to David, make a drop. And while he is pretty comfortable in the water, being his first time out, you can see he just charges right at these fish, fins kicking. And while that might have worked for him on the fresh schools right when we got in, these guys that have already been shot up are not going to allow it.
Did you see him? Okay. You're dropping really fast and aggressive.
A little overweighted, I think.
Okay, we can put some weight on a float if you need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, try to make a smooth, no splashing dive and drift down, and then just get to the bottom and sit still, hold still.
Is the school still here?
I think so. Will you hold this? I'm gonna get my Polespear.
I've got a shad circling that striper I just shot on the spear down below me, so I go to my float to grab my Polespear. Load it up and make what I think is a pretty textbook dive bomb on this guy. Key right here is to drop in super slow, almost no finning, and try to stay directly above them. Pretty proud of myself on that one. That was a pretty difficult shot.
And that is how you dive bomb a fish.
The school kind of moved off after that, so we worked our way further down the shoreline till we came across this high ridge that comes out kind of perpendicular to the shore. And these are really, really nice spots for stripers because they will funnel them up into the shallows as they cruise along the shoreline. About 35, 40 feet here. Hit the bottom. No stripers around, but I do see this carp casually feeding a little ways away. So I decided to put a spear in him and build a little fish karma. None of you have probably ever heard that term since I kind of made it up, but the idea is if you do your part to help control these invasive and nuisance species like carp, then that good karma will come back on you later on in the form of good fish. And as you'll see here later on in the video, it definitely pays off for us big time. So I may have made it up, but it's real. It works. So do it. Get out there and kill a bunch of carp, or roy, or lionfish, or whatever other species that are out there doing damage to an ecosystem that they were introduced to and don't belong in. Now here I'm just getting a tangle out of our float lines and look down and what do you know, instant karma, big school stripers right underneath me. So I load up the Polespear, get ready for a dive. All breathed up, and here we go. Try to make a really quiet duck dive, drift down into this school as smooth and calm as possible. You hear one of the other guys shoot right there. They did land another fish, but I remain calm, hanging out, wait for a chance to line up. And a whiff. Be with a Polespear, quick reload. Fish are spooked, but still not too far away. And I miss again. And normally that would be the end of things for that school, but there's just an insane amount of fish in this area. They school up right underneath me again. Just absolutely epic. Alright, I've had a chance to do my breathe up now. I've been on the surface for 2 or 3 minutes with these guys underneath me, and I am ready to make another dive. On my way down, this big guy passes pretty close, catches my interest. He doesn't look like he's turning back around, so change focus, aim for the bottom. See that carp there I shot earlier. And for my mistakes, land on my hand, nice and quiet this time. And just amazing getting schooled by these fish. Get this guy secured, cut the gills, bleed him out, and brain him.
Call it, but where you can't pick one out of the crowd.
Yes.
It's just buffet syndrome.
It's bad. So yeah, usually what you gotta do is you almost gotta look where they're coming from and see one that's gonna pass close. So have your gun ready and see one that you like that's gonna pass close, and then just adjust your up and down and let him swim in front.
There were so many.
But it's the same thing when you're like yellowtail and tuna in the ocean. It's like, who's close, who's big, and then sometimes you end up with nothing because you can't pick a shot.
I wasn't gonna shoot on that one when I went down because it looked like they had all passed me. So I started coming up a little, and then about 20 more came in front of me.
So I made 3 dives on that school, I think. Yeah. So that's what I was telling him earlier too. Like if you don't have a shot, it's better to wait, because then you don't scare the school off, and then you can get another chance.
I didn't have a shot, so I started coming up a little bit, but slowly, and then a few more just came around.
That's what I was gonna say. On your way up, sometimes you'll get them
Yeah.
that were above you that you couldn't see.
Yeah,
They're out of your
perfect.
peripherals. He's done chatting. He's like, there's probably another school here.
So what we're doing there is hanging out on the shore to kind of let the fish reset and calm down. As you can see, I follow Ryson out, and we are just right on top of them all over again. Make my dive. Level off and drift, and they come on in. Just waiting for the right opportunity. Get to the surface, secure the fish, brain, bleed, and on the stringer. Then I switch back to the spear gun. I've been seeing a little bit bigger fish kind of hanging out a little further away in the back. Hoping to maybe be able to reach out and get those guys. I get to the bottom here. I'm a little bit deeper now, 35, 40 feet. You can see the school's a little dispersed. See smaller groups in the distance. Give them a minute, but they're pretty spooked now. We've taken a couple more fish out of the school. Switch tactics a little bit for this next dive, dropping in on the other side of this ridge that comes out. And what I'm trying to do here is get a little bit below the top line of the ridge and hide. You can see these fish are coming up over the ridge. So I try to tuck in a little behind it and wait for them. Works out. The guys come in right here, right at me, and present a great shot. Get this fish to the surface, get him secured on the stringer. Cut the gills to bleed him out, preserve that meat quality. And then it's reload and on to the next one. And for those of you who are unaware, striped bass are a no-limit species here at Lake Powell. They have a tendency to overpopulate and essentially eat themselves out of house and home, which is why we get big schools of these smaller fish rather than 30, 40, 50-pound class fish like you'll see in some other freshwater lakes. I'm also on this trip with 7 other divers, several of which are newer and just looking to take home a bunch of fish to feed their families as well. So while I don't personally need as many fish as I shoot, I am sharing it with others, giving them something to take home. So unfortunately, this is where my camera battery dies, so this is the last clip I got of this area. I did shoot another 5 fish here, and we got a couple of the other guys in, pick up a few fish off of these schools as well. From there we move off to try and target some other species. Pop a little bluegill here. I love to eat these guys just scaled and fried whole, they're absolutely delicious. We had some great structure here. And again, absolutely amazing visibility. But other than the bluegill, we didn't really find much. Main target was to try and maybe get some catfish or walleye here. But being along the main lake, it was a little bit colder and they just didn't seem to be hanging out in this area. Moved a little ways down the shore, checking out this brush pile. These are generally really great spots to catch walleye and catfish hanging out around the edges. But again, nobody really home except that smallmouth you saw above there, a couple small panfish. But epic structure, epic visibility. From there, I move up into the shallows, maybe try and catch somebody up in the warmer water here. Do happen upon this sleeping carp, so time to build up some more fish karma. There's just something satisfying about hitting a carp at the very edge of your Polespear range. From there we move off to a new spot in hopes of finding those walleye and catfish again here, but nobody really home other than the bluegills. These guys are a little small. Great viz, the spot's usually more around 10 feet. But really, really cool to see these big schools of fish on these massive piles of brush with such great conditions. Just some more brush and bluegills here to finish things off. A couple of bass coming in to say hello there. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my first time trying to do a kind of narration this style. I know it was a little long, but I appreciate you guys hanging through. Let me know how you liked it down in the comments and what I can improve on. Thanks guys, and we'll see you on the next one.